Today, if you're gonna play Final Fantasy XVI, you're gonna need these Clive's notes. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. I rowed the sea in a hurry last night and just ignored the Spielchecker.
Odd. My lines are perfectly fine.
Oh. Wait, now mine are too. Maybe I started messing things up so much that I began to get it correct.
You are describing my winning strategy for life.
Oh. Who would have thought that the Square Enix development group who persist in being called Creative Business Unit 3 might have difficulty with names? Well, in the case of their upcoming Final Fantasy XVI, they've got too many of them, and they're hard to keep track of. So they're introducing a new feature to the series called Active Time Lore, because again, they're very good with names. Described by some journalists as a feature akin to pop-up video, for the benefit of gamers like me who remember when Final Fantasy games were always turn-based. The Active Time Lore system will ideally help players keep track of a plot directly inspired by Game of Thrones, but don't worry when it was good. Yoshida mentions seasons 1 to 4 specifically. To be clear, I actually think accessibility aids like this are great, in theory, and will be ideal when I inevitably buy the game, play for 3 hours, put it down for a stretch of months only to pick it back up again and get so bewildered I need to go to sleep. However, consider this quote from producer Yoshida. Quote, "We brought together pretty much the main staff from all the sections working on the game, and we read through the entire script all together, and we found out that a lot of even the internal core staff were lost. They didn't know what was going on. So we realized all of a sudden we needed some way to support players that were going to feel this way as well, because if we as devs are feeling it, players are definitely going to." Yes, but for some reason, you decided the solution was to add a pop-up video system, not fix your clusterfuck of a plot and its apparently generic cavalcade of characters and factions too boring and or convoluted that people being paid to know about them couldn't keep it all straight.
I want to introduce you to Sunshine Shuffle. It's a video game where you play poker on a boat in the middle of nowhere with the cutest crew of bank robbers you've ever met. Also, it is not about child gambling. The game asks you to play poker with these miscreants in hopes of hearing the story of how they robbed that bank 12 years ago. And it is definitely not trying to encourage kids to gamble. Each character has their own circumstances, and if you play your cards right, you'll get to hear their stories. And the devs have been very forthright in advertising that their game does not teach kids to gamble. Which is why it's super weird that Nintendo has pulled this game from the eShop because it's about child gambling. And it isn't. I think. I haven't played it yet, but I think the devs are telling the truth because Nintendo hasn't pulled this game from the eShop everywhere. Just Nintendo of America has pulled it, meaning you can't get it in the Western Hemisphere. If you are a child and you're looking to learn how to gamble, the game is available for PC, but also it doesn't teach you how to gamble, just how to play poker. So maybe watch Rounders or The Sting or something, or read a book about the stock market. I'm not here to tell you how to gamble.
Ah, spring. A time of romance, of fantasy. The seasons and years may go on, but those youthful urges remain ever the same. That's right, it's time for Sony to embark on a doomed handheld strategy. This time around, announced at the PlayStation Showcase, it's Project Q, a new peripheral that allows you to stream games from your PS5 over Wi-Fi remote play to its absolutely not inspired by the Switch, 8-inch HD screen flanked by a bisected DualSense controller. Is this a weird move in the era of Valve's Steam Deck and the still triumphant Nintendo Switch? Yes. Will it make money? Probably not. Will it be easier on the hands than a Switch? Sure, but that's hardly an achievement. I look forward to buying one because there's some exclusive Atlas title I need it for, and then putting it in the drawer where all good Sony handhelds go to die, next to my Vita and 2 PSPs. In addition to a Steam Deck without the software, Sony announced Splatoon without the charm, Marathon without the narrative, and Metal Gear without the Kojima. So it was a weird event. Perhaps we should have heeded the warning that this was the face CEO Jim Ryan made when he said he was, quote, delighted to be here.
Back in 2020, Ubisoft announced that Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, was being remade by Ubisoft Pune. And after a grueling development schedule, the game has finally gone to master. Early review copies are looking amazing, and we can't wait to play it at home. Wait, that's not right. Let me start again. Back in 2020, Ubisoft announced that Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time was being remade by Ubisoft Pune, but due to various development difficulties that almost certainly involve the pandemic, Ubisoft Pune issued a statement retracting the original release date and did not provide a new timeline. We hope that development will find itself back on track soon for this beloved franchise. No, that didn't happen either. Let me start again. Back in 2022, Ubisoft announced that Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time was being transferred back to the original studio, Ubisoft Montreal, in order to, quote, build upon the work on Ubisoft Pune and Ubisoft Mumbai, and, quote, regroup on the scope of the game. That never happened. Back in 2023, May 24th to be precise, Ubisoft announced that the remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time has been, quote, effectively rebooted and is now, quote, in the conception phase. And frankly, all this rewinding seems very much in flavor for The Sands of Time, but now that I possess the Dagger of Time, I think we'll finally see some fucking work get underway.
Man, that looks like it hurts every time you do it.
Yeah, they don't tell you about that in the game, but in real life, you have to stab yourself in the leg every single time.
Whoa, yeah, that's a serious pool you got going on down there. You gotta regret all those retakes, huh?
Yeah, in retrospect, I should have used the dagger to roll back each retake. That way there'd be less blood on the floor.
Is that how you think time travel works?
Coming up, Will Smith's going to be in a video game. No word on whether there will be multiplayer, but if there is, I'm turning on, wait for it, slappers only!
Late breaking news on...
I love that for CheckPoint.
Sunshine Shuffle?
Sunshine Shuffle.
Between...
Writing the story.
Just now. Moments ago. It will be released on Nintendo eShop in America, right?
Yeah, May 31st.
Cool.
It will be coming out to that. So it'll be on all platforms.
So any kids looking to learn how to gamble, write down. You said that it started as a joke from the developer.
Yeah.
And he memed it too hard.
Yeah, because I think the idea, I didn't double check. Here's what I did. I went to his TikTok page looking for where this all started.
Right.
I couldn't find it because I didn't know how far back I had to go into his development process to figure this out. So I went back, I watched a lot of videos just at random trying to find it, and I couldn't figure it out, but I did notice that the frequency increased in over the last couple weeks, it seems. So I'm like, okay, that's as that may be. And this just kind of has spiraled out of control, has become a little viral thing in that neck of the woods. And now he's seriously like, hey, this is not ideal, actually, because now I really do have somebody saying I can't serve the game. And I'm assuming that's the case because I don't think it's rated T for teen. I think it might actually be rated E for everyone.
Right.
I haven't followed up on that either to see what it was.
But you
rated.
were saying that the Steam reviews are as a 5-year-old,
yes.
I'm loving how this is teaching me how to gamble.
Yes, exactly. I've now lost $700 at a crypto casino. It's that kind of ideas that everyone has decided, hey, I can leave a comment about this. I will lean into the joke.
Okay.
And I think that's fantastic that he started something and then is like, oh, that bit me in the ass awful fast. But now it's also all getting sorted out, which is also what made me think that is Nintendo of America literally in on the joke here, being like, oh, we can't approve your game because it's about child gambling. And I'm kind of like, that's a hell of a joke for a large corporation to be making.
The way you say child gambling, it makes it sound like
you're gambling with children.
Or, yeah, either as the collateral or like you're like horse gambling. Right?
Yes.
You're like, which child is going to make it to the top of the slide first?
Yes,
like,
which is in a way also kind of how Uma Musume Pretty Derby works, is you're gambling on literal like underage people who also happen to be horses.
Of course. Did you watch the PlayStation Showcase? He said, fully knowing the answer.
No.
Okay. It was odd. Like, generally speaking, I think it was actually pretty entertaining, but it did start with CEO Jim Ryan going, I'm delighted to be here to tell you about these fantastic games.
Which really set the tone, I'm sure, for everyone watching, being like, oh no.
There was a new game from Jade Raymond's studio called Fair. I think it's Fair Games, but the S is a $, so it's either Fair Games or Fair Game. Ka-ching. Like, I'm not entirely sure. I have a lot. The Haven Studios, which is the studio behind this, was bought by Sony last year, and so I always find it very like hard to swallow when it's like the whole vibe of the game is eat the rich, when it's like you're owned by Sony. Like, it's, I don't know, the anti-corporate stuff from a corporate source is always a little weird. There was, there was a bunch of cool stuff, a lot of sequels, a lot of stuff from sort of like, oh, it's them again. They're, a new game from that person, like the person who did Journey or made Gree or whatever. A lot of cool stuff there. Foam Stars, from Square Enix is like the most like it.
PlayStation All-Star Battle.
Oh my God, no! I mean, it's just Splatoon with like, I don't know, very generic looking, sort of cyberpunk poppy characters.
Oh, it's not like these are kids, but they're also squids, but they also shoot ink, but there's also like, it's like, oh, we put a lot of thought into how weird could we make this, versus Foam Stars, which is like, it's just bubbles and you can surf on the bubbles, and it's like, yeah, but where's the charm?
Yeah. Then there's Metal Gear Solid Alpha, I think is what it is. It's like a triangle. It's A.
Delta?
Delta? Oh, it is. It would be a Delta, wouldn't it?
If it's just...
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Delta. It says
4.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
And Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater was 4.
3.
It was 3?
Yeah. Well, so it's a remake of Snake Eater, but we don't know anything about it. And all I know is that the trailer did not feel like the trailer for a Metal Gear game. It was a cool reveal because it was like, what is this? And then suddenly Snake is at the end. And there's knowing that it's Metal Gear, then like in retrospect, you can be like, oh, okay, I guess what they were doing with that particular bird or whatever, but it was like, it didn't feel like a Kojima trailer, like it really did not feel like...
But I mean, like Super Smash Bros. Brawl also had Snake show up at the end, and that didn't make it Metal Gear either. So
I'm just saying it didn't... I'm concerned.
There might be a reason why.
I'm concerned to have a Snake Eater remake without Kojima involved, considering what Konami has been doing on their own.
Yeah, fair. Maybe this is a pachinko game. Maybe we don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. Alan Wake 2 looks neat. Revenant Hill from the folks from 2 of the 3 folks that made Night in the Woods.
Thank you. Yes.
Looks pretty cool. Dragon's Dogma 2. Apparently there was enough of a fan base that this was a huge deal for some people. We played Dragon's Dogma and we were like, wow, this is
certainly a game for the people who like it.
This exists, yeah. And then, man, Paul and I are so disappointed by Marathon, just because we were like, oh, Marathon, because we love Marathon from back in the day on the Mac, right? And now it's an extraction shooter, which is like the Escape from Tarkov kind of thing. And it's like, oh, okay. Also, Sony introduced earbuds.
Right.
Yeah.
Innovation.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
Here I have a screen.
They had their weird
two
screen
halves of a thing, and also I have wireless earbuds, fully wireless earbuds.
And then
Innovation.
a new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So there's
yes, that was the Spider-Man.
That was
2
their big
Yeah, this will make everybody happy to go out on.
To be fair, it was a pretty sweet trailer.
That's good,
because there was a bit in it where Spider-Man is like, so much was revealed right away. There was like Spider-Man's in the symbiote suit. So he's still Spider-Man, but he's like talking really gruffly and doing like Venom stuff and beating the crap out of people. And then he's trying to save people, but he's like, oh no, they're down at this part. There's no way I'm going to get there soon enough. And then this little thing pops up on the screen that's like, bloop, switch to Miles. And it's like, oh, they're both in the game.
That's
and then you
cool.
switch to Miles Morales. And yeah, it was very cool.
Nice.
But
do they fight Electro?
No, it's Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Seems to be the big bad.
The Vulture Man.
I don't know, maybe.
Vulture the Vulture.
Vulture the Vulture?
Yeah.
Kraven the Hunter. Vulture
the Vulture Man. The Vulture Man. The Vulture.
Lizard was also in the trailer.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So there's your TLDR of the Sony thing.
Yeah.
Lots of cool looking trailers, I guess. And also this strange screen with handles.
We will definitely we will definitely talk more about it on CheckPoint on Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific. So be sure to tune in for that.
Or just watch the replay on this channel.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be there too.
I have nothing further to contribute.
Yeah, that also feels like me.
Great.
Great.
Okay.
Winning
bye.
at life.